What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Friday Night Smackdown review. As you can see, you got the championship Team Smackdown. So they actually didn't. I think that I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think they started off with a rival or a recap. They just got straight into it, which is with the first match of the night, which is let me see, Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar. And this match started out a little bit rocky. It did start off rocky. Uh, I guess the Rey Mysterio had to shake off that ring rust. But other than that, the match became pretty standard. I actually enjoyed it. Two luchadors going at it. Rey Mysterio did look kind of sluggish, but it was like it kind of went away towards the end of the match. So it was like, okay, he was a little sluggish at the beginning or whatnot, but yeah, it went away towards the end. But other than that, it was a pretty good, solid, decent match. Nothing too noteworthy. Dominic Mysterio did show up to screw Rey Mysterio over, and so that he was aligning himself with Santos Escobar, and with Santos getting the victory with a Phantom Driver. Um, I felt like Rey and Santos would have been bigger had Rey not been injured and they'd been able to properly build up this feud. So I felt like people would have been behind it more if Rey was actually there to build this thing up, but and everybody else didn't have to carry the load for the feud. Then I'm trying to look at my notes here. Then we got Bianca. Not Bianca. Well, Bianca, yeah. But it started off with Bayley and Naomi talking. Naomi warming up for her match later on tonight with Io Sky and Bayley. This was a backstage promo. Bayley basically thanking Bianca for helping her, and that that she had a hard time finding friends, and that she didn't mean for what happened to her. But they would get interrupted by Bianca, who said, "Oh, so you didn't mean it when it was her, but when it was me, you meant it all those times that you attacked us." And this would lead into a back and forth between Bianca and Bayley, with Bayley trying to explain that she get it, she understand that what she did to Bianca was bad, and that she understand that she's paying for it, but she's trying to make up for it. But they just got into a back and forth where Bianca happened to be pulled away from Naomi. This would continue. They will go to commercial break, but then when they come back, this would continue with Bianca and Naomi basically talking about it still, saying that what happened in the past. Cody Rhodes signing some stuff in the back. That she basically is worried about Naomi, that she's getting involved in this type of stuff. She doesn't understand. Naomi said she understands that she wish she was here to change the past, but she wasn't here. But she do know that she could. What she could do is she could move forward and try to stop what is now, and basically head out towards to continue warming up for her match. Let's see. Then we got the second match of the night, which is one of two qualifier tag team match with the OC versus Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. This was a pretty decent match, tag team match. I was actually solidly behind the OC. I actually liked the part with what's her name, Mia Yim did an arm drag on Grayson. I actually at that point I'm like, oh, okay, the OC might actually win this. And the match, but I said the match itself was good. It was decent, and they actually got the. I'm about to say they actually got the victory. Though due to some shenanigans from Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, they cheated to win, and Grayson Waller and Austin Theory will move on to face the winner of the Street Profits and the AOP. But otherwise, solid, decent tag team match. no promos, but then we get straight to the third match, which is Naomi versus Io Sky, which was a good match. What it did, for one, I'm glad this match didn't end in a DQ, but I didn't feel like it was necessary what happened in the match with Naomi and Io Sky. But it was decent. It was okay. I ain't gonna say it was still a decent match, and Naomi looked it good. She looked it good. She didn't look like a jobber, you know. So that's a progressive plus. But damage control would get involved, and it will cause the distractions will cause Io Sky to be able to get the victory over Naomi, and they would actually jump Naomi afterwards. With even with Asuka spraying the mist in Naomi's face, and then Bianca would come out and try to help Naomi, but Naomi and then would get jumped and beat up. Also to mention too that Io had like a delayed entrance because they played her music, but only Kyrie, Asuka, and Dakota came out. I forgot to mention this earlier when I first started this, but it turns out that Io was in the back beating up on who had beat up and taken out Bailey. And I say this because they chanted Bailey when after Bianca got beat up, but Bailey couldn't come out because she was already taken out earlier. And they basically stand tall. Uh, then we got a Jade Cargill promo. This was like a video vignette like promo. They did one from Braun Breaker earlier, and then but this one was more detailed than Braun Breaker. They actually had Jade Cargill's voiceovers and stuff like that. And we find out that Jade Cargill has officially signed to the Smackdown brand and will be a Smackdown superstar. We already knew this. Going forward, it was already, backstage rumors that she will be officially a Smackdown superstar and be on Smackdown for now on, and they just made it official here. Um, Pretty good. And then she will make her first appearance as an official SmackDown superstar next week. Um, then we will get a continuation of what happened with Io and Naomi and them with Bianca trying to try to put some water and flesh out Naomi's eyes from the mist. With Tiffany showing up saying that this is a good look for Naomi, and did her signature toodles, and Bianca wanted to do something to her, but happened to help Naomi, and they had to continue to flesh out her eyes while somebody went to go get her a towel. Then we transitioned to Kevin Owens talking to Nick Aldis, who would get interrupted by Pretty Deadly, with Kevin Owens setting up a tag team match between him and Ray Orton against Pretty Deadly. He would also punch Pretty Deadly, and both at the same time. Uh, then we got a major promo, which is um, LA Knight and AJ Styles, and this was like a reminiscent of the old days where like Randy Orton and Triple H attacked each other. Well, Triple H attacked Randy Orton at his house, and you know how Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin attacked Booker T at the grocery store. It was reminiscent to that type of stuff where they was doing like an interview at AJ Styles' house about how he works out, and then he would hear a horn being beeped. He would go outside, and it was LA Knight, and him and LA would get into a brawl with the police showing up and arrested LA Knight. But even though AJ Styles said he wanted to press charges, they revealed that he didn't press charges, and LA Knight was released. Um, then we get to the fourth match, which is the final match of the night. The Street Profits versus AOP, and this was a pretty good match. No shenanigans, no anything. This was a straight up tag team match between the two. Even though it came across and it was at ringside, this was a straight good tag team match. This was probably I want to say this was probably like the best match of the night. Honestly, yeah, this was like the best match of the night. Uh, which is saying a lot because not a lot really happened on this show. But I will get to that in a moment. But otherwise, yeah, this was a good match between the AOP and the Street Profits, with the Street Profits getting the victory over AOP to move on to where now they will have to face, uh, which is what I write down. They'll have to face the Grayson Waller and Austin Theory next week to see who will move on to be added to the WrestleMania card. Paul Heyman will be backstage. I forgot. There was a earlier segment where Cody is talking to Nick Aldis, and you see Paul Heyman lurking in the background. And this promo just confirms that what he was doing was trying to see did Cody really show up. Oh man, I got to sneeze so badly. But it turned into a yarn. But yeah, Paul Heyman earlier lurking was just him trying to figure out if Cody Rhodes really came to Smackdown by himself, and he did. He confirmed to Roman that he did indeed show up by himself, and that the audience awaits. And then go to commercial break, come back. Roman's getting on the car, and Paul escorts Roman to the ring. Thus, we get the final segment of the night, which is Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns face off. And Cody, to set the stage, Roman Reigns did do a actual interview with Pat McAfee on the Pat McAfee show earlier in the day, where he basically called Cody Rhodes a politician, and he said so. He did say some whiny bitches screwed up the main event between him and The Rock, and that Cody Rhodes took something for him, and thus this will continue here with Roman Reigns calling Cody Rhodes an idiot, saying that he's an idiot for trusting Seth Rollins, and that how could he trust Seth Rollins when Seth Rollins said he would be his shield. He said I was in the shield with Seth Rollins, and how did that work out for me? He betrayed me, and that he's an idiot for that, and he's an idiot for thinking with his heart instead of his brain. And he said then Cody Rhodes said will respond by saying that he was the one who, by reminding Roman that he was in the Shield, he was dominant, but that he was the one who was the ones to defeat the Shield, who was the first people to defeat the dominant faction of the Shield, and it was the Rhodes. And by Rhodes, it was Dustin Rhodes and Cody Rhodes with Dusty in the corner. Cody would go on to continue saying that he's no stranger to factions and heels and stables, and that he concedes to the fact that Roman is the greatest, and that they wanted to be. He said they both grew up in the business, and they both wanted to be the face of their generation, and that he conceded to the fact that Roman Reigns will be their kids' version of that's who I want to be when I get in the WWE. I want to be the next Roman Reigns, but that Roman calls him the greatest number two, and he said that because he will always be number one. But Cody Rhodes said that you call me the greatest number two, but I will always be the great. He said I won't be the greatest number two. I'll be the one to beat you at WrestleMania. He offers to shake his hand, but Roman wouldn't shake his hand, and then he will snap his fingers, and what Paul, not I was about to say Paul, but Jimmy and Solo would come through the crowd and stand next to Roman like they would get ready to attack him, but Cody was no dummy, and he told Roman to look, and all of a sudden you see almost in the same vein as Jimmy and Solo, Seth and Jay was also there in the crowds, and they come to join Cody Rhodes to keep Roman and the bloodline from attacking Cody to end the show. This was a average show. It almost was a below average show, but the final promo with Cody Rhodes and the Street Profits match kind of saved it for being a below average show. So I would give this episode before I say that, yeah, that was like the only two good things. Everything else was pretty average and okay. But yeah, the only two good things was that. So I would give this a 6 out of 10 big ups because this was above average. So it wasn't better than six. It was just barely better than five. So it was barely better than average. But you let me know in the comments down below what you thought, and if you enjoy my WWE review, you hit this button right there for all of my WWE reviews. And if you enjoy the video so much and want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit those buttons because we do grow slowly but surely. And as always, hit one of these videos for more of my amazing content. But don't go anywhere because we got more. Peace. And make sure you get over to Wrestling Pit Podcast to check out our in-depth review of Friday Night Smackdown. Peace.